What's up fellow hunters, Nox here, welcome to another exciting build video. Today we're going to talk about two awesome raw damage builds for Switchaxe. These are perfect for jumping into any quest when you don't want to agonize over which element to use. I will show a non-augmented version first that is super easy to make, and a upgraded version with augments right after to give you some extra ideas. Let's go. Starbreaker, a max DPS raw build that hits like an absolute truck. The talisman I'm using is a Rapid Morph level 3 with 3 level 2 slots. These are super easy to get now if you don't have one yet. All you have to do is use the new Cyclist melding and select Rapid Morph. If you have enough materials, you can get one in a matter of minutes. Weapon of choice is the Lucent Nagakuga Switchaxe. 385 attack, purple sharpness, 18 poison and great slots. The first thing we need to address is the huge stack of damage skills. We have max attack boost for a big increase to raw attack. Then we have a combination of weakness exploit, critical eye and bloodlust to give us 100% affinity on weak spots. Along with that, we of course have critical boost to get the most out of our critical hits. And now we have two of the core skills of the build, Grinder and Heaven Sent. These two work incredibly well together here. At level 3, Grinder will give us a 10% damage boost for 90 seconds when restoring 2 levels of sharpness. That is huge value. And Heaven Sent will allow us to sharpen instantly without actually sharpening. To understand how this combination works, we need to take a look at the skill. As soon as we start a fight, we get surrounded by this wind aura. After 15 seconds of not taking damage, Heaven Sent will activate. This will give us multiple positive effects, but the one we really want is the instant sharpening. As long as Heaven Sent is active, we can restore 50 hits of sharpness just by swapping scrolls. Now all we have to do is use up the purple and white sharpness once, then simply swap scrolls to instantly get your sharpness back and activate Grinder at the same time. Yup, Heaven Sent activates Grinder for you. No need to stop and sharpen. This will put us in a constant loop of 10% extra damage. One thing to note is that Heaven Sent will deactivate if we get knocked back, but that is actually quite easy to prevent. The burst counter, wire step, zero sum discharge, and the skill Intrepid Heart all help to prevent losing Heaven Sent. Now back to the other skills. Since we're using a status weapon, we of course have build up boost. This will increase our damage by 10% when the hit applies poison. We also have Foray, giving us an extra 10 attack as long as the monster is poisoned, but that is just a bonus here. Next we have Adrenaline Rush. This will give us an additional 30 attack whenever we dodge a monster's move. The effect lasts for 30 seconds, which is really nice. Along with the regular Bloodlust I mentioned before, we also have the new Frenzied Bloodlust. This will give us an additional Wire Bug when overcoming the effect of Frenzy. How long we get to keep that Wire Bug will depend on the level of the skill. Even just at level 1, this has great value. Coalescence will trigger automatically with Bloodlust and give us another 12 attack as well. Then we have Max Rapid Morph as well as some Evade Extender and Power Prolonger. All of these will add extra DPS and smoothness to the playstyle. I highly recommend not going below level 2 Power Prolonger if the Switchaxe is a power file type, but this will of course be up to you. We also have a level of Wirebug Whisperer, but you can switch this out for anything else if you like. Powder Mantle comes with the build as well, which will further increase overall DPS. Augment recommendations will look like this. The first thing to consider is maxing out build up boost. For more DPS, next in line would be Mail of Hellfire. After that, just go for slot upgrades and anything else you personally like to add. Now we're gonna take a look at the augmented version of the build and which augments I have exactly. As you can see, the build doesn't change much. To increase damage even more, I maxed out build up boost and added 2 levels of Mail of Hellfire. Then I added more Evade Extender and a level of Evade Window. This increases comfort and makes the activation of Adrenaline Rush easier when not using Wire Step. I personally dropped the Wirebug Whisperer because I felt no need for it at all thanks to Frenzied Bloodlust. This build is a great high damage option that can be used against anything. This is what my current augments are looking like if you're trying to recreate a similar version of the build. I went for the exact augment recommendations I showed earlier. 2 additional levels of build up boost to max it out and 2 levels of Mail of Hellfire. I might try going for the 3rd level as well, but for now I'm really enjoying the build as it is. Next we have the Remnant, a super reliable build that combines good damage with lots of comfort. This thing is perfect for staying alive in high level anomaly investigations. Weapon of choice is the Scorned Magnamalo Switchaxe. 395 attack, good sharpness and 27 blast. Our main damage essentials are the same as before. Super high affinity on weak spots and a big stack of attack skills. A big change here is that we're not using Grinder. Instead, we are making use of Master's Touch, giving us an 80% chance to not lose sharpness when landing a critical hit. This goes nicely with the weapon's sharpness and the high affinity. We don't have build-up boost in here yet, but that will come into play later. And now we get to why this build is called the Remnant. We have a very effective combination of survival skills. Evade Window level 3 for super easy dodging. Full stun resistance to make sure we don't get comboed to death because the monster stunned us. Blood Right level 2 for a nice amount of health regeneration when hitting broken parts. And Intrepid Heart for tanking any incoming hits that catch us off guard. The fact that we can fit this many comfort skills into the build without even augmenting is amazing. The Adrenaline Rush will greatly benefit from having Evade Window as well. All of the Switchaxe essentials like Rapid Morph, Power Prolonger and Evade Extender are of course intact. And as a nice bonus, we have Frenzied Bloodlust and Powder Mantle here too. On a side note, we do have Heaven Sent level 1 as well, meaning you can use it after 30 seconds of not being hit to sharpen via scroll swap. You could also exchange the Risen Valstrax legs for the Amatsu ones. That would give you Heaven Sent level 2 like the previous build. This is of course great for sharpening, but keep in mind that you will lose stun resistance entirely. By the way, if you're not a fan of Master's Touch, we have a second weapon option that can be used with the build, the Seething Basil Switchaxe. All you have to do is switch out Master's Touch for Protective Polish, and then max out Critical Eye. However, you will have to lower some of the other skills because we don't have the same slots. The augment recommendations are actually the exact same as before, and the cool thing is, you'll be able to use a lot of the same armor pieces, meaning that you don't have to augment an entire new set of armor. Here's my augmented version of the build. The first thing I did was add build up boost. We're getting it just from augments this time because the Risen Chameleos pieces are not that good for blast weapons. If you have a good build up boost talisman, you can of course use that as well. After that, I added one level of Mail of Hellfire and a bunch of comfort skills, like Defiance and the new Shock Absorber. I did lose one level of Evade Window and Blood Right, but that doesn't bother me personally. Outside of that, I have a bunch of bonus skills that came with the augments. Speaking of augments, this is what mine are looking like. As you can see, a lot of it are the same pieces as before. The arms could definitely be upgraded, and you can make the build even better as a whole depending on your augments. That -11 to fire resistance on the arms is a nasty debuff I got. What is the worst negative you got from augmenting so far? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to see more Switchaxe builds, I highly recommend checking these out. Thanks for watching, take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.